All right. So I have now published. Oh, that's what I got to do. One sec. Edit. If you're coming in right now, if you could please get into that of the chat and let me know that you're here and that you can hear everything well. I'm going to go ahead and update the link one more time. It's my second time using this type of software, so I'm getting used to it now. It's coming quicker. Last time it took me like 10-15 minutes. This time it took me 2 minutes. I'm just waiting for my computer to load. And as you come in, today we're going to be talking about understanding how to shift our level of consciousness. We're going to be understanding the 3 different layers of reality and how we can move through these and how we, at a certain level, have set certain part of these up before we even came into our life. So it's going to be understanding this higher level of awareness. So make sure everything's coming up okay. Making sure people are coming in. Let's see. Let me make sure. All right. Make sure everyone come in easy. If you come in, can you please do me a favor and get in the chat box and let me know that you're here? I want to make sure it's working before we get into today's stuff. Let's see, and if you see it on the, yeah, you'll see what I mean. All right. Gonna make sure everyone's coming in easy. Could you guys do me a favor? Okay, cool. I see people. All right. Hello, Emma. Hello, Madeline. Hello, Dee. I see you coming in. Let me know when you're coming in here. Let me make sure everything's. Let me know how everything's working. Hello, Alice. Nice to see you here. So it looks like now the link has showed up officially. So I see people coming in now. If you're here, could you do me a favor and just comment, let me know that you're here, and we're going to go ahead and get into today's content, just making sure everything's working okay first. The lighting and the quality definitely looks way better than it used to when we were using that of Facebook Live. And best part is, I can see the chat, so I can see what all of you are saying, and it makes it so much easier for us to interact and for me to give the content in a way that's much more engaging. So hola. Hello, everyone. Awesome. Cool. So, yeah, if you're coming in right now, could you just do me a favor? And can you go ahead and comment and let me know that you are here? Cool. We are live now. Click the button. So, yeah, looks like people coming in. I see people coming in. So, yeah, if you could come in, just comment. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you can hear everything okay. Hi, everyone. Hey. Krista Leave. Hey, Yasmina. Emma. Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, I see everyone coming in now. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting started with today's lesson. What's up, Jesse? Nice to see you. What's up? Okay, cool. I see everyone coming in now. So today, as you can see with the title, we're going to be talking about how to shift into a 5D level of consciousness. Now, I'm going to be mixing that of understanding some of the stuff we've been learning. It's going to be also understanding some reality transurfing ideas from a new perspective. I'm going to be sharing the 3 different layers of reality, how we create our reality from a new paradigm, or it's not a new paradigm, we're doing it naturally, but how we can be more aware of this. Because the truth is when we become aware of this, this is when our life begins to change in a powerful way. So it's about understanding who we are at our fundamental core and what life is in general, this life experience that we're having right now. And what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you all of those and how we can best move through these different experiences. So I'm going to try something real quick since people are talking about the lip sync thing being distracting. How does the lip sync, how does it syncing up now? What I did is I took out the USB. Could you comment right now and tell me how the sound is? Can you guys hear me okay? You let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know. Let me know what it sounds like. Are you able to hear me? Yes, the volume will be decreased. It's one or the other. Would you rather me have the volume decreased with the way it sounds now? Would you rather me plug this back in and have it like it was before? Can't hear me well. Can't hear me. Both ways. Lip sync is fine, but you sounded so far away. Yeah, it's this thing right here. Which way? More volume. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and... Seems like the general consensus is more volume. I'm going to go and plug this thing back in. Let's see if it just connects back up. All right. Can you guys hear me again? How does it sound now? Should have just left it. Okay, so you guys can hear me now? Could you guys comment and let me know if you can hear me better now? And I will go to get it started today. Can you hear me? Let me see. Let's see, my audio. Better. Yes, I can hear you better now. I can hear you. Yes. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and get started today. Welcome to everyone that's coming in right now. Today what we're going to be talking about is how to shift into what is called a 5D from a 3D level of consciousness, understanding who we are at a greater sense. And like we do in a lot of these videos, what I'd like to do real quick. Yeah, okay, cool. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody in. What we're going to do right now is we're going to do a quick little breathing exercise where we breathe in and then breathe out. And we're going to take a couple deep breaths together. And what we're going to do is ground each other, ground into the present moment. And let's set the intention that we connect together. Let's set an intention that we're all able to create transformation together. Set the intention that we learn and we get as much as we can out of today's training. I think today's training is something that could be very powerful for shifting consciousness. So let's set that intention right now. Remember, when we link up, we're creating a pendulum of transformation in this group. So right now, let's take a deep breath in, let's take a deep breath out, and let's begin to connect in that way. So let's take a deep breath in. Breathe it out. Feel your body relax more and more. And then imagine that the energy is coming out of your feet and into the ground. Put your attention on your feet. And we're going to take another deep breath in, deep breath out. Set the intention that we all connect our heart centers together and that we're able to create powerful transformation in our lives just by being here today. That just by this training today, you're going to have a shift in consciousness. Set that intention right now. So let's take another deep breath in, deep breath out, and do one more. As you breathe out, feel your body relax, and once again, put the awareness in your feet. And imagine that any excess energy is going out of your feet. What that is doing is that's letting you let go of what's not serving you, and it also allows you to become more present to the moment. So now we are more present to the moment. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be looking at some concepts, some ideas that as I shift your perspective to it, it will also shift your own level of consciousness. By the end of this, you're going to be more aware of who you are in a much deeper sense. You're going to be more aware of how you create your own reality and the different levels from which you do create your own reality, of understanding your soul, understanding your spirit. Now we're moving into also a level of spiritual awakening, spiritual awareness. This is when things really begin to change in a powerful way, because we start to go deeper to our core, deeper to who we really are. So when we look at this right now, let's first off realize that there's this premise that we can all be at the same page with, and that is understanding that we are more than our physical bodies. That our physical bodies that we live in interpret vibration. We can touch, see, hear, smell, all of these different levels of vibrational interpretation. All these different levels of vibrational interpretation are that of what we interpret through our senses. However, they're a very limited spectrum of what's actually able to be experienced. It's just what our body interprets. So we can most likely accept that there's more to life than there's things that exist that maybe even we don't experience. We can say, oh, we experience electricity, but it's a much different level of experience if you're actually being electrified, right? Some of these things are abstract ideas that we use to think of, but the idea is that there's more than just what we experience through our five senses. Just like it's like saying, oh, x-rays don't exist. Well, they exist, it's just we don't visibly see x-rays, but we have machines that can use x-ray vision to see and look into someone's body, but we know that exists. Now, if there is a sound of a dog whistle and we can't actually hear it, does that mean the dog whistle doesn't exist? No, it just means that our decibel range that our physical body uses doesn't interpret that sound. Now, some people can. Some people can hear the sound of a dog whistle. So it depends upon our interpretations of reality. But the idea is, the first premise of this is understanding that we are more than just our physical structure. We are more than just our ego. And the reason this is important is because then the things I'm going to lay out to you is going to show you that you are more than you physically, or that more than you priorly thought. Now understand that you are an immortal spiritual being living a very temporary human experience. This is something that a lot of different spiritual teachings point to. They all say it in a little bit different terminology, but in the fundamental basis, we're all connected. We are all more than just our physical bodies. We are spiritual beings, live in temporary human experiences. And when we become aware of this, things in our life begin to change, because then we see that we're not just the ego structure. We're not just the reaction to the environment. We're not just the mind or the brain that is constantly responding to stimulus. And the more we become aware of this, is the more we start to tap into the true potential for who we really are. So this is about, first off, understanding that we are more than our physical body. We are more than just this reaction mind that we have. And when we start to realize that, we can start to realize that we are an immortal spiritual being living a temporary human experience. Now, the reason this is important is because I'm going to share with you some of the things that you know at a deep level when it comes to 5D and up level of consciousness. Because here's the thing. Let me tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story right now about consciousness in general that's going to help you relate to life in a completely new way. By me explaining this story to you, I really think that this could cause a shift within your consciousness, a shift within the way that you look at reality itself. Because then you will relate to reality in a completely new way. So once upon a time, you were chilling in a higher dimensional aspect. Now understand, on Earth we experience lesser pleasant feeling vibrations. We have shame, fear, guilt, anger, all of these lesser vibrational states of consciousness. Now, as I've said in many videos, we are naturally of a higher vibrational state of consciousness. We are unconditional love and bliss. That is who we are. It's simply that we are in this life, in life in general, we are going through these different levels and becoming more at our core and letting go of what doesn't serve. As we let go of what doesn't serve, it naturally raises our vibration, because that's who we are. We are that high vibrational state of consciousness. The reason when we look at someone else and we feel love because we're appreciating them, the reason that feels good is because that's who we naturally are. Our emotions are a guidance system that is showing us how we are relating to who we naturally are. Now, in actuality, we are unconditional love and bliss. We are enlightenment. It's not about attaining enlightenment. It's about letting go of things that don't serve. It's about letting go of lesser emotions And as we let go of those lesser emotions, we're able to then be more in the present moment, and we're able to be who we naturally are. So knowing that that's the way it is, knowing that we are naturally unconditional love and bliss, I want to paint out a picture, a story that I think will transform your life. In the higher dimensions, we're all chilling. Imagine that. Right now, we're in higher dimensions. We're feeling unconditional love and bliss for each other. We're just appreciating each other. Now imagine that in this higher dimension, which we could say is 5D consciousness and above, we feel love and light. We don't really feel negative emotions at all because we've kind of, we exist beyond that. But we're chilling in these higher dimensions, and imagine that whatever you want, you can think of it and it instantly appears. You think it, it appears. You're like, you know what? I want to go in front of a waterfall, and I want to bathe in the waterfall and feel what that's like. You instantly go there, and you're in front of a waterfall, and you're having that experience. Then imagine you want to know something, and you instantly know it because you aren't bound by time and space, so you can easily manifest whatever you want. You can be around whoever you want. You have the ability to see them, to be around other people, or other souls, you could say. Imagine in this higher dimension that anything you want is there. You're not bound by time and space, and that it is in a way kind of like having, I'll explain that in a minute, but just imagine that you are able to have that level of freedom and that level of knowing as well, that you just know all of this. Now imagine in these higher dimensions, you enjoy it. That is who you naturally are. I would even go as far to say is every night when you go to bed, you're awake in these higher dimensions, but then when you wake up, you remember, oh, this is who I am. So in the higher dimensions, that's who we are. Now imagine that for a while, that's fun. That's a fun experience. You can have whatever you want when you want it. You can go anywhere you want to go. You can know whatever you want to know. These are all things that you have the ability to experience. Now, after a while, imagine that you start to get kind of bored of this. Imagine that you start to get kind of bored of this. Why is Siri talking to me right now? Hey, Siri, stop. I don't know if that works, but I figured I would try it. But imagine that you are unconditional love and bliss, and that you exist in this higher state of consciousness. Now imagine that sitting around with everyone else, you're realizing you can do whatever you want to do. You can travel wherever you want to travel. You can know whatever you want to know. But imagine that after a while, you start to get bored of this. Because it's like if you were ever playing a video game. I remember I used to play video game. I used to play Grand Theft Auto when I was younger, which is where you get to go and like shoot stuff and just do all this like wretched stuff that you would never do in real life. But you go do it. There's a mode where you can get a cheat code on it. And if you have this cheat code and all these different cheat codes, you can do whatever you want. You could instantly have a tank. You could instantly go and just have a helicopter and do all this crazy stuff and all of this crazy stuff. That's a little more violent, but I'm just using it as a metaphor. But imagine, and I remember doing this, after a while, after like a couple hours of doing this, you get bored of it because you can do whatever you want. There's so much freedom. There's so much ability. Now imagine that in the higher dimensions, that's how we were. Imagine in the higher dimensions that we have that ability to feel that unconditional love and bliss, and that after a while, we get a little bit bored. So what we decide to do is we say, okay, we're going to create this reality system. This reality system we're going to call Earth. And on this reality system, instead of things manifesting instantly, there's going to be a dimension of time and space. So when you think of something, it's not going to instantly appear. It's going to appear after a while of thinking about it. And there's going to be these belief systems that we have that if we work through, then eventually maybe we can get to more of instant manifestation. Things happen easier than ever. And that we're going to begin to remember, and what if this reality system, we forget that we are immortal spiritual beings living a temporary experience, human experience. What if we forget who we really are when we incarnate into the system? And that part of the purpose of this reality is to remember who we are. And that is part of the experience. That there's time and space, so you have to think about what you want. You have to go through this kind of experience. You get time to cultivate it. And looking around at other people, you looked around at some of the other souls that you're chilling in the higher dimensions with, and you say, you know what? How about you play this role in my life so that I can learn this lesson? And how about you play this person in my life so that we can learn this lesson? And how about you and I, we're going to be soulmates. How about that? How about all of these different scenarios, and then we come into this life experience, we forget who we are up until now because now we're starting to remember, and then we realize that it is an experience that we're having through an avatar. As in a video game, this experience, this ego, is an avatar that experiences the five senses through vibrational interpretations. So then what happens is we go through life experiences. Sometimes we get really entrenched into that life experience. We forget who we are. We identify with our ego. We identify with situations that are happening to us. We give our power away in many ways. So that's what we are experiencing. And we are now becoming aware that we have logged into this game of life, this reality, and in this life experience, what makes Earth so unique is that right now on Earth, there's a transformation that is taking place. There's a transformation from a 3D level of consciousness into a 5D level of consciousness. This is one of the first times in the universe that a whole entire civilization has had the ability to increase vibration the way we are going through right now. That's why there are over 7 billion people on the planet right now, because everyone wants to be here for this transformation that's taking place. And it's not that it's going to take place in the far future, it's happening now. More and more people are becoming aware of who they are. And as we start to tap into this, we see that we are remembering this. That we are remembering who we are. And people are having spiritual awakenings left and right. More and more people are waking up. Now, you may look around and say, well, 99% of the planet's not waking up. You could say, well, there's only a certain percentage of people that are waking up. But remember the levels of vibration. You only need a couple million people at the level of 400 and above, which 400 above is reasoning, and to that of eventually love. Love and above, that will influence billions and billions of other people because of the power of the frequency of the people that are waking up. You are one of those people that have the higher frequency if you are watching this right now. If you're even interested in this, then you are one of the people on the leading forefront. Now understand that from 3 to 5D, 3D, let's talk a little bit about 3D reality. 3D reality, think of it as the solar plexus. Think of 3D reality as that of the willpower. Think of 3D reality as that of duality. Good, bad, light, dark, up, down, left brain, right brain, logical, creative. All of these different opposites. This is duality. This is the game of duality. We have agreed for a certain period of time to play the game of duality. So what we did is we had this game of duality that we're playing right now. You can look into society. If you watch the news, you'll be very aware that the media is a certain level controlled, and it's always pointing people to the negative stuff. What does the media do? The media reminds you of the 3D. Look at what's going on in the world. Get triggered. Get triggered as to what's happening. Feel into this. Let me remind you there's negative stuff happening. And then it triggers you into 3D levels of consciousness, 3D levels of vibration. But this is the thing. That's one perception. And that's something that we're coming to master as of this moment right now. We're becoming more aware of this 3D level of consciousness and how we can wake up to more of who we are. So that's 3D. 3D is duality. Now remember what Einstein said. Let's remember what Einstein said. Einstein said, you can never solve a problem from the level of consciousness that the problem was created. You must shift above it. So in the same way, we're never going to completely understand duality and all of these negative things, not from that level of reaction mode. Most people live their whole life in reaction mode. Reaction mode is actually kind of living in the past. This happened to me in the past. Look what's happening in my life. Things are happening to me. Things are happening to me. Things are happening to me. That is the ego's reaction mode. The key to this is remembering that that's just one perspective. That is the 3D reality. That is the old way of going about it. Now understand that you are so much more than you can imagine. Now, right now on the planet, there is a split. There is 3D reality, and then there's 5D reality and above. 3D reality is this reaction to everything that's happening. Things are happening to me, living in the past, living in the identity of the ego. That is the 3D reality. Having and doing is the 3D reality. The 5D reality is about being present to the moment right now. Understanding that your beliefs create your reality. Reality has only the meaning that we give it. You see, we're not aware of that in 3D reality because in 3D reality, we're just reacting. We're not even aware that we create our own reality. But if you're becoming aware that your beliefs create your reality, then you're starting to take your power back. So, the key to this is knowing more about our 5D nature because it exists right now. As you look around right now, there's times of my day that I'm in 5D level of consciousness. Then what will happen is I might go to the gym. Maybe something happens. And then it triggers me out of that 5D level of consciousness. And then I'm in 3D for a minute. And then I go back to 5D. It's not that. There's this split that's going to happen. And you're never going to be able to perceive of other people again that are in 3D. It's more so that you are choosing to be in 5D. And this could also be for a certain period of time. Maybe it does get to the point to where it resonates less and less to be entrenched into the 3D. For example, just naturally, it's just happening, more and more 3D, what we would call 3D. We don't want to get too entrenched with this whole 3D, 5D. We don't want to look at people and go, those are 3D people, those are 5D people. But in general, I've noticed, as I become more on my path and more into embodying who I am, a lot of the old people that would trigger me into lower emotions are just naturally falling out of my life. They just aren't resonating like they used to. Just happening naturally. So just by natural resonance, yes, this split will happen more and more. You will perceive of the 3D less and less. I just don't even watch the news. I go places and it just doesn't even register for me to look at it because I know the news is trying to trigger people into the 3D awareness, into the 3D remembrance. So this is about being aware of that. So what is this 5D level of consciousness? 5D level of consciousness is about knowing that you are an immortal spiritual being living a temporary human experience and that you are love. Love is all that it exists. Love is all there is. Anything else is an illusion. It is an attachment. It is something that's happening from identifying with the avatar, identifying with the ego. So you are an immortal spiritual being living a temporary human experience, and right now you're starting to remember more and more of this. More and more of who you are. You can just be in the present moment right now. Now you might be wondering, what is the fourth dimension, 4D? 4D you could think of as time, just simply time and space, time. And the thing is as we make this transition from 3D to 5D, guess what's happening? Time, the perception of time is speeding up. Time doesn't really exist, but time is an element that we use to experience in this reality, but time is starting to go away. Now we are existing in the present moment. You may notice that now in society, because the vibration on the planet is raising, things are manifesting easier than ever. Things are manifesting very, very quickly because the vibration on the planet is speeding up very, very much. So as this transformation is happening on the planet over the next period of time on the planet, you are a part of it. I am a part of it. We are becoming more present to the moment. We are understanding who we really are. We are understanding this game of reality that we have decided to play, and we are understanding that we can start to be in the present moment. Start to be here now. This is where the power is. And right now, you are becoming more and more aware of it. Because otherwise, you wouldn't perceive of this video. If some people are dropping off this video right now, then they aren't meant to be hearing this maybe. Maybe at a certain level, it's just you are here right now because this is something that you are meant to be hearing. So understand that you are so much more than you can imagine. In the 5D level of consciousness, you realize there really is no separation. We could say, this person did this to me. We could say, this is happening, all of this stuff. But really, we're all connected. When you look at someone else, they are a reflection of your own higher mind. We are all at our fundamental core, we're all one. That's why when you look at someone else and you feel love, you're feeling love for another aspect of you. If you feel negative emotion towards someone else, the reason that feels bad is because that someone else is connected to you. So that negative emotion you put out is actually going to come back to you because it's all you. And the 5D level of consciousness is about being aware and choosing the kind of experiences you have. And understanding that your beliefs create your reality. So what do you believe to be true? Now here's an important part of understanding how beliefs create your reality. Beliefs create your reality, and reality is a reflection of what you believe to be true. Now the important part of this is knowing that what is true for you may not be true for someone else. Here's the one truth in reality. All truths are true. Whatever you believe to be true will be reflected back to you, but what is true for someone else may be different. So it's about having that level of awareness and understanding what meaning do you give life, because the meaning that you give life is going to be what you get out of it. So this is about understanding who you are and how you relate to life in general. Now understand that this shift that's happening on the planet right now, in a way 3D represents the solar plexus, 5D represents more of the heart and the heart chakra. And we're moving more into unconditional love, more into being in the present moment, in this higher vibrational state of consciousness, understanding that we are all connected. And we will literally, in this lifetime, begin creating heaven on earth. The return of what some people call Christ consciousness. It's not some being coming back, it's us coming back to ourselves. It's us lighting the spark of Christ consciousness within, because we are a part of that. We are that as well. So it's about remembering who we are. It's about connecting to this, about understanding that we can exist in 5D consciousness, that it's around us at all times. But what are you choosing? In 3D level of consciousness, things happen to you. In 5D level of consciousness, you choose. That's it. You realize everything is a choice from a certain level. Because remember, you've logged into the game of life. You've logged in from a higher dimension. When you go to bed at night, you are awake to this higher dimensional state. You are awake that you are this unconditional love and bliss. And what you're doing is you're meeting up with your higher self, which is a part of you, and you're saying, what do I want to experience in my life right now? What am I going to lead me to that's going to help me to remember more of who you are? It may have been your higher self that encouraged you to become a part of this training so that you could be here today to remember this. To remember that you are unconditional love and bliss, and that this is just a game. And this game is meant to be fun. And you start to tap into hacking the game when you become aware that your beliefs create your reality. Everything is what you make it to be. Your beliefs are that of which the meaning you give it. Things that happen in your life are neutral. Everything is neutral except for the meaning you give it. This is the most powerful understanding you can ever have in your life, because you realize that things are meaningless other than the meaning you give it, which means that you have the power. You are the source of consciousness. But remember, there's nothing to worry about. You exist in a higher state of consciousness at all times. You're simply dreaming that this is who you are. Life is a game. Life is a dream. Whatever analogy you want to give it, but just know that you are unconditional love and bliss anyways. So relax. Allow. And all you're doing right now is just listen to the words I say, because everything I'm saying is just seeking into your consciousness. You're just remembering that you are this 5D level of consciousness, that the more you let go, the doorway from 3D to 5D is that of surrender. Surrender and let go. Let go of the 3D. Let go of the news and watching the media. Let go of anything that triggers you into a lower vibrational state of consciousness. Just let it go, because you are already there. You are already that which you seek. You are already unconditional love and bliss. You don't have to try to become more. You don't have to try. You already are. And right now, I'm helping you to remember that. This is already within you. This is already within. You are this source consciousness. This is about this awareness of who you are. You're tapping into it right now. And what I'm now going to share with you is the 3 different levels of reality, the 3 layers of reality. Now that you know you are an immortal spiritual being living a separate human experience, you may have known that before. Maybe this isn't groundbreaking stuff for you, but I'm trying to formulate it in a way that you can grasp. So let go. Understand that you can connect to who you are really meant to be. And let's understand the different levels of this reality. First off, when we came into this reality, one thing we had to make is we had to make a stage. The stage This layer of reality is the earth itself. We did this as a collective, we did this as a higher dimensional being. We decided, okay, we're going to make this reality system. We're going to call this reality system Earth. It's just one reality system. It's primarily going to be for what we're going to experience in the 3 to 5D range, 3 dimension to 5 dimension. So this is the stage. The stage is Earth. We have certain laws we're going to put into this Earth, such as gravity, such as time and space, such as physical structure. We're made out of this carbon stuff that we give names, and carbon and hydrogen and all of this stuff. We're going to breathe oxygen. That's the stage that we've all created. And the stage is a part of the experience. So we look around, there's the sun that comes up, there's this is part of the physical construct of this reality. And that is the first level of reality. The first level is just simply the stage, the laws, gravity, all of these different things. Now, the second stage is collective consciousness, CC, collective consciousness. Collective consciousness is the societal programming when we're born that we're into, the genetic code it could be, social conditioning, that's what it is as well. Collective consciousness, when we're born into our life, we may take on the belief of our parents. We may take on the belief of our society. We may look at the media and think that that's what's really out there. We may identify with all of that, and that may at a certain level be the collective consciousness. So the key is knowing that sometimes that is what we may be experiencing. In reality transurfing, that is called a pendulum. The pendulum is the social conditioning. These thought structures, many times we think that when we think thoughts, they don't exist. We're just thinking them. But thoughts are actually, literally things. We may not visibly see it. Thoughts may be invisible, but that doesn't mean they're not things. They still exist. It's just that when we normally think of things, we think of physicality. Now, the more you think of something, the more physical structure you give it, until eventually it pops into reality. So, thoughts are literally things. Now, when people are thinking similar thoughts, they add energy to that. Just like we're all here right now, we're thinking of this transformation that we're having just by being here. We're adding thought to it. We're adding this momentum flow to it. Now, in the same way, we may think, I'm having my own thoughts. I want the Raiders to win. I want the Las Vegas Kings to win. The Golden Knights to win for hockey. That's my thought. But also I might be tapping into and feeling the thoughts of the collective of my city of Las Vegas. You may think, America. Wherever you're from, you may think patriotism. I'm thinking my own thoughts. You might just be thinking the thoughts of collective conditioning, the pendulum of that, saying, this is who I am, which is also just a game of separation. Let's just be honest. I'm American, I'm this, I'm that, I get it. However, at the same time, understand we're all one consciousness. We're all connected. Put a border in the line and say, I am from here, you're not allowed over here. But at a fundamental level, we are all one consciousness. So it's about just remembering who we are. And that is collective conditioning, collective consciousness. So then the third level of reality is personal awareness, personal creation. Second level is that of the collective consciousness, which is also external intention. When I create, and the reason my YouTube channel is growing so quickly is because I'm tapping into the collective consciousness. I am tapping into adding value to other people in a way that is external intention. There's external intention and internal intention. Internal intention is the personal reality, personal awareness. My willpower, what do I want to experience? The power we have over ourselves. Now, the best way to change the world is to first off transform yourself, because the world is a reflection of what you believe to be true. But understand that what you believe to be true, we're also connecting with other people that are also doing the same thing. This is a collaborative type effect of this reality. So we have personal awareness, personal reality, my willpower, what do I want to experience? Then we have the level of collective conditioning, collective consciousness, where we're aware of what we are experiencing in our life. We are aware of that, of the pendulums that are out there, being American, being this nationality, this one, whatever it is, for this sports teams against this sports teams. It's about being aware of that, but in general, there's this collective social conditioning that is just there because of many people focused on the same things. And then we have the stage. The stage is more of just, it already exists. It's the earth plane. It is the dimensions of gravity and all of these cause and effect type things. Now, these are the 3 different layers of reality, but understand, you and we agreed to it from a 5D level of consciousness or higher. From our higher self, we said, I'm going to log into this system where there's these 3 different layers, 3 main layers of reality. There's the stage, and understand that in this stage as well, maybe certain people in your life are playing certain roles. This is kind of a concept that may sound a little bit too much to take in right now, but allow it to be there. Allow it to just pose this idea to you. I had, in my past, an abusive ex-stepmom between the ages of 7 to 15 years old. She's physically abusive, mentally abusive, and verbally abusive, whatever you want to call it. Certain story. What if, at a higher level, I knew that that would help trigger me into a spiritual awakening from the pain of it? What if at a higher dimensional level, we made an agreement that that was something she was going to do? She was going to play out that role. What if? I'm just saying, what if we treated certain people in our life that normally we had all this resentment for? Maybe we carry around all this burden. We can't forgive them. It's so hard to forgive. But what if we knew that at a higher level, we agreed to it with them? We said, okay, you're going to play this role. You're going to play an abusive stepmom, and this is your role in my life. And she agreed to it. And as mad as I can be in this life that I had an abusive stepmom, now ex-stepmom, what if it was agreed to at a higher level? Because we're all playing certain roles. You may look and said, I didn't have a great relationship with your mom or your dad or whoever's in your life, but what if that was part of the game, the stage? What if that was part of the role, so that you could learn more of how to love yourself? You could learn how to go through this, or you could teach them unconditional love and teach them that they should have loved you because they lost out. But it's about forgiveness. And an easier way to forgive is to understand that at a higher level of consciousness, you may have actually chosen it. And when you say yes to the present moment is when your life begins to change. And right now, you are becoming much more aware of this level of consciousness. You are becoming much more aware of who you are from this level. And you are becoming aware that at a certain way, you've chosen it. You've chosen it. If you treat every moment as if you chose it, you start to get your power back. Everything, treat it as if you chose it. I promise you it will transform your life. But understand that reality is a dream. Reality is a dream. It is time to wake up to who we really are. Alarm clock's going off. Ding, 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 ding. Time to wake up. You were led to this video today because it's time to remember who you are. Maybe you've already been on this path. Maybe you've already woken up. But it's time to remember that you are an immortal spiritual being living a temporary human experience. It's time to remember that when you go to bed at night, you are awake in this higher states of consciousness. It's time to remember that this is a simulation. This is just vibrational interpretations. You are unconditional love and bliss. The reason people love shows like Harry Potter, like Lord of the Rings, like these magical shows is because in the higher dimensions, that's what is real. Things happen quicker. This is a dimension of time and space here. We experience that which we believe to be true. Magic is who we really are. Magic is our natural state. And the reason we think it's not is just because we're identifying too much with the 3D ego reality. So, this is how we tap into it, is in the remembrance, in the awareness that our beliefs create reality. If you're experiencing blocks in your life, ask yourself the question, what do I believe to be true to be having this kind of experience? And then pay attention to what comes up. Your mind, the mind machine will tell you what that is, but then feel it from the heart. But you have to know that 3D, 5D, it's around you all the time right now. Which are you choosing? If you're feeling lower state of emotions, know you chose it. And if you know you chose it, you can choose something else. But if it's happening to you, you don't have your power. It's just you're a leaf in the wind and it's carrying you everywhere. And that's okay. The paradox is to allow it to be there, to be aware of it and to allow it to be there. And by allowing it to be there, you start to take your power back. You see, that's the key. And know that these 3 different levels, you begin to transcend it when you just tap into being in the present moment. When you know that this is a game, this is reality, it's meant to be fun. A dream and a game is fun. Let reality be fun. Loosen up. The more you loosen up, the more things become more malleable. The more you will see that things begin to change in your life in a powerful way. The more serious it is, the more this is all there is, this realness, is the more you'll be entrenched in it, the more you dig yourself a hole with it. You are so much more than you can even know. I'm just a messenger here today to remind you of what you already know. The alarm clock is going off. Ding, ding, ding. And here you are right now, remembering it's time to become lucid in this dream of life. Still a dream, you can become lucid in it. If you have lucidity, you can do more things. You can be in the present moment. You can enjoy it more. And in that lucidity is where the power is. So congratulations. Congratulations on making this shift. You, from this point going forward, will be a new version of you. I mean that literally. You are now absorbing the information of what I shared with you in a deep energetic level. And from this point going forward, you will know that. The next time something triggers you, you will remember. It's just a game. Experience it. You can still feel it, but it's just a game. Don't take it so seriously. Relax. Feel it. Understand that there's still certain ways reality works, but be aware of your beliefs. Be aware of how you relate to life in general, and your life will begin to change. So set the intention right now that before the end of the day today, you remember more of this. You start to tap into your soul, this 5D level of consciousness. You can pay attention to it all around you right now. That's the power that you have. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the chat now and interact and answer some questions. Let's see. All right, whole bunch of interaction. Awesome. Where is 4D? So Emma said, where is 4D? So 4D is the dimension of time. So you can also think of the gateway from 3D to 5D. The gateway from 3D to 5D is simply letting go and surrendering. Let go and surrender. See, time is like the past, the future. We're always trying to do something. Just be here now. And surrender. Then you will get to that of the 5D level of consciousness. Let's see. Emma said, so basically we are God. We are a spark of that same consciousness. We are just remembering that more in our life right now. We're becoming more aware of it. That's all. Madeline said, one person awakened is like a million who are not. That is true. That is true. When you look at the scale of consciousness, when you see enlightenment at the top, one enlightened person can outbalance the negativity of like millions and millions of people at a 200 range, which is shame, fear, guilt, and the lower emotions. So just by us being here today, we're already starting to transform the consciousness because we're all here and we're all focused on the same type of outcome. Let's see. Madeline said, oh my MG, my vibration is so much higher of letting go. Yeah, letting go is so powerful. It's so underrated too because it's so simple. But yeah, just let go, let go, let go of attachment, let go. When you let go, you're becoming aware of the 3D. You're letting it be. 3D is perfect as it is. Let it be. Sounds like a paradox, but the more you think there's a problem, the more you create resistance. Allow it to be what it is. And you'll notice that then it begins to change. 100% of my manifestations are appearing at the speed of light. That's awesome, Stephanie. Yeah, things are speeding up on the planet right now. The vibration is literally increasing on the. If you look at the Schumann resonance, it's increased. The vibration of the planet is increasing. The solar activity we have and everything we have is going into this form of consciousness because at a higher level, we knew that this was the time of transformation on the planet and we wanted to be here for that. So that's why we chose to be here right now. Is to be experiencing this. So that's certain symbols we may give, the sun transforming, the earth, the time experience, all of that, but it's all a part of the experience. America. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we get entrenched into the collective consciousness of certain perspectives. I want my team to win. I want your team to win. I hate you. You know, it's funny. If you see two hockey fans in a hockey group, right, or in a hockey stadium, and they're fighting each other over their teams, you know what they still have in common? They love hockey. They have more in common than they do not in common. It's just that they're saying, well, you're from the Golden Knights and you're from Pittsburgh. I don't like you. You both still like hockey. You see, so it's a funny idea, but it's we have more in common than we think. It's just that we're more focused on what makes us separate than what makes us similar. You have more in common with that guy than you do with somebody that doesn't even like hockey, but you never get in a fight with someone that doesn't like hockey because there'd be nothing to trigger you. But it's about being aware of that. Yeah, so more, Stephanie said, you're right, so many people disappearing who no longer resonate with you. 5D, 3D consciousness, it both exists right now. Both of them exist right now. People will be falling out of your life that don't resonate. Now, they're still there. You could still pick up the phone and call them most likely, but you might find that the call drops when you try calling them. That's more of a metaphor, but you might find that you just don't have the urge to call them as much because you're in a new way of being. Not judgmental, not better, not worse, it's just different. And that's what's happened to me. More and more people are just kind of falling out. More people are falling in, coming in. So it's about the process. But just accept it. Allow it. Emma says, I love the way you put your funny voice or roll your eyes when you talk about social conditioning. Yeah, I did this podcast episode today, and I put a lot of enthusiasm in these voices, and I was kind of like experimenting, but I think you all are gonna like it. It's gonna come out on Friday, so check the podcast on Friday for it. But it's also it's similar. I talk about some of the stuff that we're talking about right now. Let's see. I'm going to answer a couple questions before we end today, so ask some questions if you have questions, maybe related to what we're talking about. Yeah, when you let people go, Elena said something great. Yeah, when you let go, people start to, when we let go is when people start to fall out. Sometimes if you're attached, like, I have to have the same friends I've always had my whole entire life, then you may have been attached to them. But if you just let it be what it is, then you'll find that you actually make room for more people. So it's just a natural progression. Let's see. But can I figure out about my higher self and then use it for evil? Or because it is love and come on? So your higher self is unconditional, is love. Like, that's who you are. If there's any negativity from that, that's coming from a less than 5D level of consciousness. That's coming from a 4 to 3D level of consciousness. And that is, it's just about being aware of that. You know, there's a lot of learning lesson that comes with that. Some people are meant to be experienced. Maybe that's what they're experiencing in their life. But you can just be aware of it. If you're aware of it, you've already started the first part of taking your power back. So that will help you. Yeah, so Elena said, I started using the technique that you used, Aaron. I made a list last night where I see myself in a year by starting at where I'm at now, because right now is the moment in the eternal now. Yeah, and start literally just living as that version of you. Just be that version of you. Letting go is amazing. Sherry said, letting go is amazing. Hated my husband ex for 8 years. Let it go, soul to soul, and we couldn't be happier now. See, it's just letting go. When you let it out of your energy field, you can then increase your vibration. It's almost like if we don't forgive, we're holding it within our own energy field. Yeah, Sherry said, so many new light workers are coming out of the work. It's so true. And this information is so much more available, like so much more normal too. I'm looking on Instagram at all these, like, you know, some of these influencers, and they're sharing information like this, and it's great because it's coming at more and more demand, and it's becoming more and more the norm. So that's really cool. Elena said, Aaron, when you identify an experience that you want to attract, do you vibrate yourself into the moment of already having it? How long does it take you to attract the experience you want. So it depends on what it is that I'm trying to attract and my belief system as to how quickly I can experience it. But I focus on just living in the present moment as that version of me. I imagine myself right now as already having the authority to speak in front of hundreds of people in live audience because I've already done it on webinars and I've already done it in many different ways. Now I'm moving in that direction, but I'm living as it now. And because I'm embodying the vibrational frequency of it, it'll eventually become my reality. So I just give myself the permission to live in as it now and also link up your actions to that version of you now. What would that version of you be doing? So I look at that version of me and I'm like, okay, that version of me would be calling and finding out how much it'd be to book different places to speak. You know, that's something that version of me is doing. So I get into the vibration of it. So that's something that you can do as well. If it's painting or whatever it is, then start to find and connecting with people that are already doing that. Sherry said, how do we help those who are awakening but constantly slip into the dark night? You're just there as support, but you don't necessarily need to, you don't want to try to do the work for them. You be aware of them. And you don't see them as there's something wrong. Don't see them. The best thing you can do is just see them as perfect as they are. They're going through their own experiences. They're learning as they go. They're going to figure it out. Just see it as that instead of seeing them as, oh, they're going through the dark night of the soul. They're going to experience a whole bunch of bad stuff. That will almost increase that energy will add to it and make it even harder for them. So instead, focus on that, on seeing them already whole and complete. Just trusting they're going to figure it out. Be the lighthouse. Be in your own energy, and that will help to where then they can, like, in a way, find the light. Let's see. Where am I planning on visiting? I plan on visiting everywhere. I plan on traveling to the east, the west coast, the east coast, eventually places like Australia, London, many different places, but I'll be doing seminars called The Shift Experience. The Shift Experience with Aaron Dowdy. That's coming up here about the beginning of the year of 2019. I'm getting everything, it's so much to do, getting everything in alignment right now for that, but that's what I'll be doing. So I'm going to let you all know as well so that we can, hopefully I can meet you at those events. Let's see. Madeline says, when fluctuating from your higher self to lower self to higher self is maybe the dark night of the soul. It could be. It could be that when you really get entrenched into that of the 3D reality, that's when you become even more aware. And it's almost like it's darkest before the sun starts to come out. So it's like in the same way, sometimes it can be that. And then that creates the pressure for you to come outside on the other end. So that is something that you may experience. But it's just about allowing the process to be and understanding that you're more anyways. So it's all just experience. Remember, say yes to the present moment. That is the key. The more you say yes to the present moment is the more things will begin to shift for you. Sherry said, are you coming to Portland and Seattle areas? Yeah, I'll be all around. I'll be in Seattle, most likely Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, probably Phoenix, maybe parts of Utah. I don't even know everywhere yet. I just know that wherever I find that there is a demand, because as the YouTube channel grows and everything, then I will go. So I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of like going to be going on tour in a way. So maybe if you live in Portland, you can go up to Seattle. I don't know. Maybe if you live in San Francisco, you can go to wherever, you kind of get the idea. But yeah, I'll be traveling around as well. Will you get discounted tickets? I don't know, maybe. I haven't set up that part of it yet. If I can, then I will. For anybody that's in the Reality Shifting Academy or the Reality Transurfing Academy. Let's see. Anchorage, Alaska. Nice. I've been to Anchorage, Alaska. Funny small world, yeah. I thought you lived in Seattle, Elena. You're cool. You're inspiring. Thanks, Madeline. Oh, that's your hometown, yes. JDM said, how do we clear on what to focus on when there are many intentions and goals? Can we change someone's life for the better, like family? Yeah, okay, so this is what you want to do. Envision the people that you want to change their life. You can't change their life, but you can see them as already whole and complete, and that will assist them in the energy flow of figuring things out. So just see them as already whole and complete. You don't need to give them everything, but it's more so just being the lighthouse, Now, how do you get clear on what intentions to focus on? The way you do that is you simply set more intentions. Set the intention that you become clear on your intentions. Set the intention to do whatever. Set more intentions and set the intention to become clear as to what that is. Just set the intention and you will start to find that your mind, your brain, your heart, you start to align with what that is. The quickest way to manifest more money is to be in the vibration of abundance. And you become in the vibration of abundance a lot of times when you are doing what you love, when you lighten up the mood, when you put yourself in a good state of being, and when you see how you can add value to others. Right now, I'm in an abundant mode because I'm adding value to you. So I'm in the abundance. That's how I attract more money into my life, by being in the vibration of abundance. Don't think of abundance as money. Don't limit yourself. Abundance is a state of being that when you get into, you will attract more and more. So that is the key. So with that being said, let me know of what everyone thought of today's. If you could comment, let me know in the Facebook group on a separate post. Let me know of what you thought of today's live Q&A. Did you like the more esoteric stuff? Did you like this kind of shift experience type stuff? Do you want me to keep sharing some of the shift experience in the academy? The benefit is you guys are getting a lot of the type of awarenesses and seeing everything before it goes into the shift experience. So if that's something you like, then let me know and I'll keep doing it. Because the shift experience is going to be more of a high-end type thing. So you're kind of getting tastes and appetizers of it right now. So let me know what you think of it. Comment in the Facebook group and let me know. Other than that, I want to thank you all for being here, and I will see you on the next Q&A. Peace, much love, and namaste.